This is Anthony Gray of Grayscale Painting. I'm going to talk to you today about the use of gesso. You can probably find plenty of videos that talk about this subject. I was actually on or watching a painting stream, and two ladies were talking about gesso and primarily colors and why does acrylic paint tend to fade a little bit when it dries and it dulls out your colors. Well, acrylic paint by its nature, because it's made with water, it dries by evaporation. So your colors will tend to dull out or appear a little darker when it dries than when you put it on. As with oil paint, which dries through oxidation, whatever you see with oil paint, that's what you're going to get when it dries. Watercolor acts in the opposite way. Watercolor is a very thin paint. It works with the white of the paper, and when you obviously apply water to the paint, the more water you apply, the thinner it gets. The brighter it gets, or it appears to get brighter. It goes on dark, but it dries brighter because, once again, it's very transparent, and the white of the paper shows through. Okay, all right. For acrylic paint, you would use gesso. Gesso is made of slightly different properties than your regular acrylic paint, but basically, gesso is essentially sealing paint. Okay, it's got the same ingredients that goes into sealing paint. All right, gesso is it's a white make paint. It has a binder mixed with maybe gypsum or chalk. Okay, it helps grip. Obviously the sealing. So it's sealing paint, not wall paint. Sealing paint. Different properties for a sealing, obviously. You know, got that gravity thing going on. All right, and you'll probably see the definitions on the screen here. Okay, now let's go to this board. It's 16 by 18 panel board here. Okay, I've applied. Now I personally don't have any gesso because I very rarely use it. But for this instance and for this example, I do have chalk paint, which essentially is the same thing. Chalk paint dries, it's like slate. It dries as hard as a rock, and that's what you're looking for, and that's what gesso does when it dries. It doesn't turn into liquid plastic like acrylic paint. It dries like chalk. Okay, it dries like a rock. All right, so I have the white placed on here. Okay, on the other side, same paint with a drop of black, maybe a little more than a drop, which makes it gray. So essentially it will be gray, like gray gesso. Okay, and you can obviously change the hue or the intensity of the gray depending on how much black you put in it. Okay, so there's always a ratio thing going on when you add pigment to gesso. Here, I'm going to take a page out of Miss Diana's book there, and I added yellow ochre, which is a neutral. Okay, and so I placed this here. I was going to put orange here, but I'll stick with the yellow ochre. So we have white, yellow ochre, and gray. I'll do a painting using, obviously, what's placed on here for gesso. The reason why I have it split into 6-inch rectangles is to show you what it will look like with whatever gesso background you choose. They were discussing about bright colors dulling out compared to other colors on white paper. Okay, once again, it's the nature of the beast with acrylic. It just dries a little darker. Okay, once again, through evaporation. Okay, but there's certain things you can do to kind of combat that a little bit. When you use neutral colors, okay, instead of white, Neutral colors will tend to, especially with acrylic, acrylic paint will pick up whatever you put, whatever's down before it. Okay, so if you got a neutral color that's darker than white, your darker colors are going to kind of be absorbed into whatever you got for a background color. Your white will tend to show a little stronger against this. You follow me? Okay. You got to remember what it's going to look like when the paint dries. You follow me? So, if you place colors on there that are a little darker, depending on what kind of background you got, okay, they tend to, once it dries, okay, it tends to once again pick up whatever color you got behind it. You can never really tell because most people paint with a white background or black background. You follow me? All depending on your subject, what you're trying to paint, what you want to paint. Okay, that gives that appearance. All right, if you guys want to do this experiment, you can even add more colors, to it, and you can see what would happen once they dry. Okay, and this will, it works with oil paint also. Okay, it depends on how thick you put it on and whatnot, but it's usually about color. What colors are you using, how they interact with each other, with other paints, things like that. It just comes with experience and experimenting and all of that fun stuff. All right. All right. Now that I have the colors laid out here, once again, just white, yellow ochre, and gray. Oh, one other thing about color, adding colors, at least brightening a color. If you use a soft white and add it to your colors, it's not going to do really too much. Soft white is more of a blending white. All right, you use the blend with other colors. When you put it into whatever particular color, it works that way. Titanium white is extremely opaque. Titanium white will more than likely do the trick. You might have to really step up your fade and blending game with titanium white if you mix it in with whatever color, because it will overpower. Titanium white will overpower black. So, be cautious. Remember, it's a ratio of titanium white to whatever color you need to stand out more. Okay, so keep that in mind. But that's what I wanted to explain to you about gesso. Once again, it's like ceiling paint. Okay, you can get some thicker or thinner. All depends on what you're looking for. If you get it a little thick, you can sand your board if you like to paint on a smooth surface or whatnot. It's really your preference. You can do whatever you want. Water-based mediums and paints tend to have that little freedom. You can add things to it, molding paste, or you can add anything to it really. Some people add flour to put texture in it. All sorts of stuff you can do with acrylic. It has its advantages that way. Okay, enough of me babbling. The next transition, we'll start to paint something here so you can see exactly what's going to go on and what's going to happen with the three different background colors. All right, I'll see you then. Okay, welcome back. What I've done is just put a very thin coat of vegetable glycerin over this board. Vegetable glycerin is water-based, and I use it as a medium like an oil painter would use. I guess they call it liquid white or whatever type of medium they call it now. It's just to keep the board kind of slick so the paint can blend easily and things of that nature. Okay, once again, and it also prevents the acrylic paint for drying quickly so you can blend it. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, even though you guys see three different colors here. Okay, white, the yellow ochre, and the gray. All right, I'm going to paint a quick, simple painting here, just to show you what it's going to look like with the three different color backgrounds of what we'll call gesso. Okay, and see how the colors interact with each other with the colored backgrounds. All right. Okay, and we're going to get right along to it. Let me introduce the colors I'm going to use. I do have raw umber, lamp black, cad yellow, titanium white, and cobalt blue this time. Okay, and I'm going to paint a simple, just a simple landscape painting. Sky. I think I'm gonna do a different type of mountain here. I think I'm gonna do one with maybe a lot of trees here, a pool of water, and some trees here, foreground trees here coming out this way. So that pushes everything back. So it'll be some atmospheric perspective going on, stuff like that. But that's not really the main focus of this painting. It's really to see how this painting will be affected by each background color. Okay, all right. And I will just kind of put it in there. I'll keep the corners somewhat dark. All right, and I'll do the same thing here. The glycerin, once again, the paint lays on top of the glycerin, basically. Okay, and that's what you see it doing as of now. And I'll kind of pop a little bit of that in here, something like that. I'll leave it be. You might not see the pencil lines of the hill / mountain, but it is there. I'm going to take this same blue. It's not really too much of it. I'm going to come here right where I kind of want the water line to be. And I'll just kind of put it right here. I'm going to get a little bit more of the blue. And I'll start it right here because I know the trees are going to be around this area. Well, I might as well go right to the end. Okay. I'll bring this out a little bit. Bring it out there like this. All right. I'm going to take a touch of titanium white. I'll put the white here in the center. Just like this. Okay. And then I'll just kind of take it and blend it into the just like that. I'll just go down with it here. Just like so. And then I'll lightly kind of go this way with it. Something like that. All right. And this is just me messing around here. I'll brighten up the center a little bit more. Just like that. Come over here on this side, lighten it up a little bit. Okay. Come over here. Continue it on like that. Okay. All right. I can very lightly just kind of, I'll wisp it very lightly though. I'll do it this way like that. I'll come here and do the same thing, just very lightly meet the other. Get a little bit of striations going so it looks kind of flowing and everything. Well, again, glycerin keeps this wet for a while, so you can actually do this. Okay. Glycerin will also spread while it dries. Okay. So the streaks or the line marks you'll see may not be there by the time, when it's all said and done. All right. Okay. I'm going to take a makeup brush. I'll take a rather large one here. And what I'm going to do, I just take it and I'm gonna swirl it around to give kind of a flowing cloud-like look for right now, the darker stuff here. And basically when I'm going in these little circular motions, it's just to smooth out everything. Okay. Now depending on how much glycerin you use, okay, sometimes it'll stain, sometimes it won't. You'll get these little patches there, but it's okay. I can straighten all of that out. So it's not really too important if it looks like that, because you can press and use your hand pressure to smooth things out a little bit. But once again, I'm just blocking in and filling out color here. Okay. All of what you see in here can be moved around, so don't worry about stuff like that. See, you can kind of move it around. See this? So don't fret if it starts to look kind of weird. You can scrub and move it around, but wait till you see what I do with it. Okay. And as you can see, as I put the paint on, you can kind of see what's going on with it, with the gesso, the different color gesso, and what it's starting to look like. Okay. Just because I put on this layer of blue doesn't mean it's the only layer of blue. You can always, and I'm going to show you that. So it might look like a mess now, but hold on for a second. Don't panic. All right. See, you can always go back over it. See this? Because now I'm paying more attention to the clouds since I already did the water. And as you can see, if you lightly go over, you can do it in a circular motion. You can do it in a crisscross motion. It's up to you how you want your clouds to look. Definitely up to you. It's your world. I'll put some of this down there like that. Take the brush and just blend it in. Just like that. You get all sorts of values and hues going on. Okay. So, as I was teased about in the ladies were doing their paint thing, just have fun with it. Have a ball. All right. Experiment. Have a good time. See how you can manipulate and do whatever you feel. All depends on what you're looking for, what you want in your clouds. Okay. In your sky. This is cobalt blue. Cobalt blue in a makeup brush. The makeup brush, I got it Walmart. And we're going to add our titanium white to these clouds. The titanium white, of course, is going to pick up the blue tint when we blend. Okay. All right. And I'll just take some titanium white on my fan brush. All right. Watch this. Now, once again, the mountains or whatever, they're right here. I'll just kind of sketch a line through it, kind of show you where it is there. All right, just around that area. I'll go from the bottom here, and I'll just kind of tap like this. Look at this. Just kind of play around with your, just like that, and go dip. I'm just using the edge of the brush itself. Okay, no more, no less. I'll come up here. And where you see the light areas of that blue is where I'm kind of pouncing in some clouds. I'm just doing, these are accidentals. Okay, so I'm twirling the brush like so, and I'm spinning it as I'm doing the twirls. Just like that. Okay. Looks weird. Looks kind of like, what is he doing? I'll take some of that here, and I'm borrowing it. I'll put it over here, up here like this. All right. Okay. Very simple way to make some dynamic clouds. This is a technique. Okay. You can do clouds any way you really feel. I'm gonna take a smaller mop brush. Now watch what I do here. Okay, let's go over here. Actually, let's zoom in for a second. Now watch what I do with this brush. I'll just take it in nice circular motions. Don't press too hard. You want some of those values to stay. I particularly like it when I blend on the bottom, blend pretty hard on the bottom to blend it into what's happening with the background color there. Okay. But this is me, my preference. You don't necessarily have to do it. Okay. But see how it looks when you smooth it out? Okay. So it's really up to you how you want to do your clouds. Okay. Now, the glycerin is getting tacky, which is great. So you can manipulate a little more. You can put a little more pressure on the brush. Up to you. How you want that to play out. Okay. I'm going to borrow some of this, and I'm going to bring it over here. Let's kind of fluff that out a little bit. Over here in the corner. I'm going to smooth out some of the, I don't want to get rid of a lot of the intensity. I go a little harder here on the bottom where the tree line is going to be. But I'll take some of that white and I'll blend it in here. I want to show you something as I'm blending this in. The more you blend in, the more it goes into the previous color that you've laid down. Okay. I want to show you something as I'm doing this. Okay. Let's say, these look okay, but you want to add a little more oomph to them or whatever. You just gently blend. It's going to blend into that cobalt blue or whatever blue you choose. All right. Go back to Mr. Fan Brush and you add another layer of white. See, you can add layer after layer after layer. It's definitely up to you. So, okay, say we got this lighter color up in here. I really don't want to add too much because the trees are going to be there. So let's play around here. Okay, we'll play around with some bright stuff up here. Now I want intensity. See this? Now I want a little bit of oomph in there. Something a little brighter there. Okay. Brighter clouds. Don't do it. Don't blend as much. See that? When you add brighter clouds, once again, I'm using titanium white. And remember, titanium white covers a whole multitude of sins. So if you don't like something or it doesn't appear cool to you, cover it up. Nobody will know. Just you and the hairdresser. All right. You see that? Let's take that same intensity of white. All right, let's bring it. We'll bring it up here a little bit. Really bust out with that strong aura of white. It's like that. All right. And I'm going to take it, wisp. All right. Come out here. You can use different colors for your clouds. You can add red to it, maybe purple, if you want storm clouds, up to you. It looks a lot more, look at all this. See all that, all the tones, all that activity that's going on in there. You can make this look a lot more complicated than it actually really is. Keep in mind that the glycerin is still a little bit tacky. Okay. And the more you do this, the more it blends in. Keep that in mind also. And I'm just blending in the paint, smoothing it out a little bit. All right. Now, It's not totally dry yet, but if you look closely, okay, you can see the difference. Look at the color here. All right, look at the colors. Okay, all right, you can definitely see there's a color difference. All right, I'll pan this when it's, when we're fully done with everything, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Each section, even though it's the same color being applied, okay, and you can see the intensity of the white, it does shift, it's changed. All right, between each and every one. All right, I'm gonna paint in the hill. I think we're gonna have some mist out here on the bottom. Let's block in where we want our mountain. It will be a mountain, sort of like somewhere up here. The Catskills are up here where I'm living here in New York, so it'll look. There's a few ways I could tackle this, because I want to show you the difference, but I think you guys will start to see the differences because you can still see the striped line. Okay, as it dries more, all I'm going to do with this is just block in the mountain color here. Now this glycerin, remember the paint is on top of this glycerin here. Okay, I don't want the mountain too craggy because it's going to be covered with trees. Okay, I'm going a little bit past the pencil mark line. I'll probably take this guy and put him all the way across like that. And once again, I'm just blocking in color. I'm dragging the color down. But as I'm doing it, I want you to notice, even with the darker color like this brown, what's going to happen. I'm not going to go all the way to about by the water's edge because we're going to mist that out. But I'm gonna bring it down far enough because it's going to be trees and everything covering all of this. So I'm going to bring it down. Even though I'm going to have large pine trees here, it's okay. It's okay. This color is just to give us a nice little base here. And I don't need it to be super rough or anything like that because we're going to have trees covering all of that. Okay. Just drag it all down like so. I want you to look at what's going on with it, even in this stage. Very important because I'm showing you what the different colors of gesso will do to your paint, even with a dark paint. So all of this is just pure example of what your background color will do to the value of the paint that you're using. Okay, okay. All right, let's go here from the bottom. All right, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of pressure. I'm just gonna fade out that bottom edge because of the mist that's gonna come in it. Now I'm going to have to lighten it up here. Let's do this. Let's do the X strokes real. It doesn't have to be super smooth because once again, you're gonna have trees and whatever going over this. I don't want to use this super large brush and go too close to the edge of the hills up there, but I'll smooth this out a little bit. I'll keep smoothing it out. Now I can use a smaller, I'm just gonna tighten that up a little bit, smooth it. See what the glycerin does? You'll know how to manipulate and move this paint around with the glycerin. It just takes a little practice. The more you blend and move the paint around, okay, the more of a smoothed out effect that you're gonna get. But look at it. I need you to look. Look at the colors. Okay. We'll start right at the top. Oh yeah, this will do beautifully actually. Now what I'm gonna do is look at this. Watch what I'm gonna do here. As I'm pressing, you're not gonna get rid of all of the brown. It's not too much of it anyway. All right. Now, I see what I did wrong. I'm gonna tell you what I did. It's the water. The water eats through glycerin like a hot knife through butter. You follow me? So that's what's going on. That's what you see. Okay. So less water, more paint. Easy way to remedy that. But I do like the effect. It's the texture you're looking for. So we're going to kind of go back in with a thicker paint, and we're going to cover some of that up. But that's what you're looking at. And it's all right if it starts to do that, because we got something to combat that. So it's all right. Don't worry about it. Right now, I'm looking for texture. There's no glycerin or anything in this, but that's what's going on with it. The brush is a little, get as close as I can up there. The brush is a little bit stiff, so it's taking out some of that paint. But that's why you see the white patches, but it's okay. Once again, we're going to use that for us, not against us. I'm getting some more yellow. You need plenty of yellow and just a very little bit of white. Okay, so I'm just making another batch of this color, mixing it in with the green I already have, going back into my black, bring that olive green black back again. So for the sake of this painting, I won't use water for it, but I do have plenty of paint. And we're going to continue on. And I'm just doing interesting little, that's a lot better. Just like so. But I want you to see something. Once again, just like that. Come on down. See, I'm going back over the spots that, some of that white tried to peek through there. Okay. But I want you to look at what I'm doing. I want you to see exactly what's happening, what's going on here. Look at the way this paint is interacting with the color down below, even the dark tones. And I'm, once again, just thinking texture. I'm not getting rid of all of that. But you'll see as I do this what's going to happen, what's going on. All right. I'm going to fade some of that out back here. The water line is going to be faded a little bit. Fade that out. Just like that. All right. There's a reason why. Blend that out. It helps the mist once I get to it. All right. I'm going to use a smaller brush to get some a little bit of highlight details into this mountain. And I'm going to use a smaller brush to pop in some, I use this guy, pop in some little tree textures up here up top real quick. Okay, I'm just going to use a little touch of white into this green that we have. All right. Now be careful when you add white if you make yellow using black, because it does have the propensity to turn a little gray on you. Okay, so just be mindful of that. All right, let's go over here. Right here. And we're gonna kind of play a little bit right in here. Just like this. See that? I'm gonna need plenty of it. Now the brighter your color, the less of it you need. All right. And we'll kind of come over here a little bit, kind of roll it, especially toward the top. You can really pattern the direction of your sunlight. See how see you put it right up on the top there? Okay. You see how it's starting to look? Do it on didn't mean to go that high. That was a mistake. let's correct that. I didn't want to do that. Not that high anyway. I'm gonna have to get rid of that. When I make an error like that, it's all right. I can get rid of it. I did not mean to do that, but I'm glad it happened because I'll show you what to do when you run into a mistake like that. All right. You can make it go away. And I'm just wiping it away, basically. I can wipe it away, blend it into the other cloud. We'll make another cloud out of this. Okay, so if you run into an error like that, now you guys don't see the color shift, I do. But you can kind of make it mysteriously go away. Just like that. Here's another cloud. It's all right. Here's another cloud. Pop it in there. See that? It'll go away. Just make it another cloud. Just like that. Okay, there you go. Another cloud. I know a certain Afro individual say, you know, there's never really any mistakes. It's happy accidents. Trust me, that was an accident. I messed up there. I didn't mean that. Getting another touch of white into this green. And it's just a touch. Because once again, you don't want it to be gray or look gray. I'll bring a little bit up on top. Down below. Just interesting little globs of this lighter color. And remember, it might look a little bright for now, but it won't be because this brighter color, once it dries, it starts to dull out. Okay, and you'll see. If you notice, I'm kind of containing this color to basically one side of the mountain going in one direction. I think you guys would notice that. Okay. Just like that. So as you can see, it's a very hilly mountain, much like the ones we got here in the woods. But I got enough texture happening here with it. Go right at the top here. Pop at the top. Come on, downward. Just like so. Come on down here. Okay. Like so. Just like so. So, we have our textured hill. Okay. Once again, you can see the stripe. Okay, white, yellow ochre, and then gray. Okay, so you got two neutrals and then the natural white right here. Okay, so once again, pay close attention. I'm not doing anything no different than any other painting. You should still see the line right here, separating everything. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's work on that mist. Now, the mist, well, let me wait for this to dry a little bit before we play with that. I will probably mess around a little more with the water. We're just going to smooth out that water just a little bit. All right. I'm going to come from the bottom here. I'm going to go this way. Okay, something like that. And Actually, let me go back to going down. We'll do the original one like this. I'll go a little lighter here in the center because we're going to use that. I just want to darken it a little bit. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side here. We're going to just come right from here. We'll do it this way. Okay. And we'll lighten it as it gets here. It's like that. Let's work that out a little bit better. And obviously it lightens up here in the center. All right. Okay. I'll just take it very light, very light, very light pressure. And I'll wipe as straight a line as you can. Just like that. Very light. Put it in there. The striations are what you're looking for, but keep them very smooth. Don't try to make them all even. Okay. Just the way you see me doing right here. I'll bring some of that there too. Just like so. So you see the unevenness there. All right. No problem. Up here on the top, it really won't matter. I'm just going to fade that out on the bottom. Just mist it out. And just keep doing it. It'll happen for you. Keep doing it. Okay. Coming up on top. Hey, a little more pressure. I just want to fade this out a little bit. Just some X strokes there to fade it out. All right. Just soften it a little bit. That's all. All right. I think we're good here. Okay. Clean off my flat brush. Once again, because you can see it from here. Okay, you see the color difference. White, ochre, and gray. But look at them. See? Okay. Depending on the colors that you're using for your paints, certain attributes of that color, hue, shade will come out more depending on your background. What grabs my eye really is the yellow ochre. Whatever's the mid-tone, as you can see, it's like a glow. All right, because of the yellow ochre got brown in it, as well as yellow. But look what's going on with it there. Now, the gray, because of its deep, the tone, the hue of the gray, all right, it reduces things. Okay, so whatever's brighter, as you can see, sticks out more. This and this, the highlights are the same, but look at the brightness here. It's because of the gray that draws all of that. Okay, then you have your white. Okay, obviously the white's going to take toward the brighter things there. Okay, but you can see a distinct difference between this, and this. All right. And same thing is pretty much going on with your water also. Okay, because it's still, well, this is still wet, it hasn't dried yet. But when it does, you'll see three distinct differences. All right. Okay. So I hope a lot of this is making a little bit of sense. I hope to you. I hope. We're going to take a very soft mop brush here. Very soft. We're going to throw some mist in there. There's a reason why I'm going to do the mist. Let me use a fan brush. The reason why I'm adding the mist here is going to create a sense of depth when I get to putting in the giant the giant trees in here. Okay. All right. We're going to get right onto it. I'll just use the basic white. Fan brush white. I'm going to start right from the middle here. Now, it's still fairly light, fairly wet, rather, I should say. I'll bring some of this up here just a little bit like that. All right. All right, I'll stop here. I'm going to take this brush and We're gonna very light touch because you want it to stay white. Okay. If it starts to change on you, stop. Okay. You might have to go over it a few times, and that's okay. Put it right into the water. Okay. Put it right in the water. Just keep going in circles. Okay. You have to be kind of careful doing it because now you may end up going over this a few times to get that white, but that's all right. It's okay because now once you enter this realm, you're going to go with different tones of white. The more you add on with this stuff, the whiter it becomes. Okay. But you're going to do it in different steps. Okay. So don't worry. So don't panic as of yet. Don't panic. You're going to be fine. Taking some more white, and I'll come down below a little bit more like this. Come on up. Well, really play around up here, and then we'll kind of bring it down there. We're really going to play with some stuff here on this part here. All right. Let's very circular motion there. Very light. Do it lightly. Do it light. I'm going a little heavier up here because the glycerin's starting to dry. So, but we can accentuate all of that once we get to it. There we go. Vary your hand pressure. The brighter you make this, the brighter you you make this stuff, it's going to pick up some of that tone. You guys don't see what I see, all right? Because obviously the mist is picking up some of that brownish color, and it's fine. That's cool. Let it do that. It's okay. I'm going to, believe it or not, I need some more white, believe it or not. Let's go right here by the water, a little bit above, just like this. Okay. And once again, we're just gonna very lightly pop it in there. I'm wiping off my brush. We're gonna fade some of that. Just like that, fade it in. I need some more white, believe it or not. All right, just a little touch. Now the glycerin is starting to tack up and get it's starting to tack up and dry. Once again, that's actually a good thing. Just like that, kind of wisp it in there. Circular motion. Pop it right in there. Just like that. And control your hand pressure. Okay. All right. Let's put a little bit of something here, and then we'll come down here, play around a little bit. across there like this. All right. Just a little something over there. And then I don't have to, I can go just back and forth. Just like that. And then here you can mist up some stuff and have it do its thing there. Come straight across here. Just like that. All right. So there's your little bank of fog there. Okay. All right. Take a little bit of white. We're going to tighten this up a little bit. Just tighten that up a little bit. A little brightness right there. All right. There we go. Let's brighten it up a little bit there. All right. All right. Anyway, here, this area, I got to pick my spots because I still want you to see the tones here. Because you got a line here. Okay, and a line there. All right. Remember, gray, yellow ochre, and white. I got a 3-inch wide brush, brand new. I usually don't use one this size, but we're going to use it today though. Okay, I'm mixing the black and brown together with this rather large brush. All right, this will make life a little bit easier for me. All right, okay, and then we're just going to, once again, much easier. All right. Ah, so much easier. Just like that. Pop him right in there. Put him right off the page there. Just like so. Okay. And we're gonna throw another one in there. Right about here. And I want interesting little pattern deals going on with it. Like that. I'll slap another one down there. I do have other brushes. I just can't seem to find where they are right now, but I do have them. All right. But as you can see, I need to put some much larger trees in there because once again, it puts all of that back. All right. I'm looking here. I can probably put a little something. Oh, hold on. We'll probably kind of put some little brushy things up in here like this. And maybe a little something here. Something like that back there. All right, something like that. So we got a little activity going on there. All right, a lot of paint on this brush. You'll definitely see it now, I think. Not really, but it is in there. Yeah, you don't see it too much. And it's okay, you'll see it soon after I put all this, when I brighten it up a little bit. I got the light in the lighted side on the left. So we'll just do it that way. You pop some into the middle a little bit. All right. And we can kind of give a little push of color there. We'll play with it, something like that. Get some more. All right. And we're gonna kind of a couple of taps, just like that. Now it's in where the light part of the water is, so you can play a little bit with that, but keep the lit area, the highlighted area, a little bit more on the inside. A little more yellow, a little touch of white into this weird kind of green. Don't go too hard. When you got a lot of paint on it, a slight touch is all you need. See? You can kind of pattern your tree out to how you want it. All right. I'll put a little bit of those in there. And we'll come out here a little bit, like so. All right. Like I said, I kind of like that. I'll brighten it up a little bit with some white if I can, so we can kind of highlight some of these fellas. Bring it out front a little bit. Brighten that up a little. See this? Just a little bit here and there. Like so. Put some of them up there like that. And I think we're doing all right here. We're almost there. All right. Okay. Now, as I'm doing this tutorial, and we're coming to a close with it, when I do take the photograph of this, I have to wait till it's totally dry so you can see what it's going to look like when it's all finished. I'll take the palette knife real fast here. Matter of fact, I'll taint it with a little bit of green black. It'll just gray it out a little bit. I don't need it exactly super duper white, but we're gonna add a little bit of and we'll probably pop one right here, so it looks like you got more than 3 trees, and you're putting there. You're just putting some branch, why can't I see what it is here? You're just putting some, put one right there too. You're putting some trunks. Why do I forget? Put a nice one, a nice size one here if you can. There we go. Get a little more green there. You want them in there, but you don't want them, you don't want like a straight line of this. All right, this is a bigger tree, it requires obviously bigger branches. It goes right off the page there. All right, he's really up there. But you can add other ones in there just to give the impression that it's more than one hanging around there. Okay, well, we'll put him on the bottom there. And we're going to do the same thing over on the other side. Now you can put one, well, obviously you're going to pop one right here, like that. And maybe a little something hanging around there. So it's more than one. At least give the appearance of more than one. You know, it's kind of your judgment call how you want to do that. Okay. All right, I think that's really about it. Once again, I have to wait for this to totally dry, so you guys can see exactly what's going on and how it's going to affect the. I'm cleaning off my palette as I'm talking to you. I think we're good here with this. As I will say, we're pretty much done here. I'm about as far back as I can possibly be with this painting. But you guys pretty much see, here's the bottom and the top is only just above the frame. But as you can see, even with the 3 gessoed backgrounds, unless you really look, and you will once I take a photo of it, you'll see how the color in the back affects your painting. Because I don't really think you can see it. I will zoom in a little bit. I'll zoom in like something like that. Okay, I'm gonna start from here. Let's start from where the clouds are. Okay, and this is where the white is, right in here. But you can see the color shift. All right, so I'll put it right in between white, yellow ochre. Okay, now let's go from the yellow ochre right to the yellow ochre and gray. Okay, so that's yellow here. That's the gray area, and that's the yellow ochre and gray, yellow ochre here, gray here, yellow ochre, and then I'll put over here yellow ochre and white. Okay, and you should be able to see. Look at the blues. See the blues? Okay, or the lighter blues. Here's the darker blue. This is the darker blue there. It's lighter blue, lighter blue. The darker blue, lighter blue. All right, so you can see the difference, and there is. Okay. Now, once again, once you put gray into it and you pop the white does show up very strong. You follow me? And it shows up real decent here. Okay. It shows up more here than it does on the white area. Okay. All right, let's go down a little bit. You should still be able to see. Well, you got the trees in the way here. Okay. But there's your yellow ochre area. There's the area with the white. Okay. So the white's here. Yeah, you can see it. The yellow ochre's here. Okay. And then obviously the gray. But you got the giant trees there in the way. Okay. Even with the water. Okay, even though you got the trees in the front here, but you got the white that comes up to here. You got the yellow ochre. Now remember, the yellow ochre got that weird glow thing happening. Okay, when it goes into the browns and stuff. And then obviously you got the gray there, which you're not going to see too much because of all the thick paint and the foliage there in the back. All right, so let's zoom back. Glycerin, depending on how much of it you put on there, it takes, well, it slows down the drying time of acrylic, so it's going to take a little while for this stuff to dry, but nowhere near as long It's oil paint. Trust me on that. You can still wait weeks for oil paints to dry, depending on how thick you got it. Sometimes even longer, but usually about 10 days, it will be dry enough to ship. Usually, if it's an oil painting. The acrylic, depending on how much glycerin there is, you give it a day or two. But once again, for you guys to see everything, I have to wait for this to dry. So this tutorial is going to take a little longer to I mean, I can make the tutorial, but I can't really even show the picture until it's fully dry, so you guys can actually see what it is I'm talking about. But thank you very much for watching. I hope this helps you out. Thumbs up, thumbs down. If you write a comment in the comment section, that would be great. I know people, if they see this as if the premiere is going, they're gonna type in the chat box. But the comments will be cool. Drop a comment, what you like, what you didn't like, whatever. If I explained it enough, great. If I did not, let me know what I did not explain right. Okay. That's the only way we're all going to learn. Questions and answers. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening, day, morning, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace.